The notice
Recording in
requirement
progress.
the notice requirement provided for the Open Public Meeting Law has been satisfied. Notice properly given. Said notice had been transmitted to the Courier News on Tuesday, January 8th, 2026, as well by posting to the city's website. Roll call.
Council members Briggs Jones,
Present.
Graham,
Present.
McCray,
Present.
Sessoms,
Present.
Wyatt,
Present.
Vice President Hockaday,
Present.
Council President Cherry.
Present.
All members present in a quorum.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Humbly we ask God, the giver of peace and the lover of charity, to give the entire family of nations true agreement with his will, and to grant the light of his spirit on all those who work for justice and peace. Amen.
In honor of Black History Month, we're going to have Councilman Graham sing Lift Every Voice and Sing, the Black National Anthem.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that our dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that our present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. All right, may I have a motion to approve the minutes of the reorg meeting on January 2nd, 2026?
So moved.
Seconded.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. All right, discussion items. The 2026 committees have been established and delivered to the City Council. The CBAC committee, one of the recommendations from CBAC last year was that we wanted to allow the citizens more time. So next month, I'm asking all the City Council members to provide the City Clerk the names before the next council meeting. All right, now we move on to consideration of public hearing on second reading and final passage. We have ordinances MC 2026-01 and MC 2026-02, which are scheduled for public hearing and final passage for a regular meeting and as advertised. We now move on to resolutions. The legislative body, R056-26 through R063-26. Do we have consensus to add these to the agenda? Yes. Are there any items that we would wish to take off the consent agenda? All right. Mayor business. Administrator, R064-26 through R067-26. Will the Business Administrator please present your items?
Yes, thank you, Council President. We have 4 items for you this evening. The first is a replacement for a public defender, and so this is a new appointment. The second one is a contract for professional services for liability insurance and risk management. This is a mandatory requirement of our PGIF membership, and it's also paid for by the PGIF, but we do have to make a selection. The third one is a resolution authorizing the extension of the contract we have with JFK for EMS services. And the fourth one is a resolution to approve and to submit and approve a grant for the $18,000, and this allows us to do our drug outreach. It pays for our DARE program and other mentoring and clergy outreach.
All right, Council, do I have consent to add these?
Yes.
All right. Are there any items that we wish to take off the agenda, on the consent agenda? No?
Council President,
Yes.
may I just ask if our business administrator can just elaborate a little bit more on the substance use disorder outreach that was referenced?
Say that again?
Do you mean the last item?
Yes.
Yeah, so that pays for the DARE program when the cops go into the schools and teach kids about, the same way we all probably had growing up. And also, when we have to pay for clergy to do outreach, if there's a specific incident that we're responding to, it comes out of our recreation department. They're the ones who are overseeing those programs. And they have, obviously their finger on the pulse of the youth because they're working with them on a daily basis.
Any other questions? All right, so do we have consensus to add these items to the voting meeting? Are there any items that we want to take off the consent agenda? All right. Corporation Counsel, will you present your items?
Certainly. Thank you, Council President. This evening, I have 8 items for consideration by council. I'll group them. The first 3 items are payment of additional appropriations to pay bills for 2025. These were invoices received in January for services rendered in December, and I'm asking for the appropriations for these 3 law firms so that we can close out 2025. As for the final 5 resolutions, these are routine in that these are law firms that represent the city and have represented the city for a number of years in various disciplines, whether it be litigation, labor, redevelopment, or tax appeals. These are the same firms that this council has approved in years past at the same level of appropriation that has been asked for in the past. We cannot say, obviously, at this month whether or not this will be all that we'll need, but it's routine that if additional funds are needed, we will come back to council. And these numbers are all within the temporary budget that was approved by council at the reorganization meeting. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. So do I have consent to add this to the voting meeting?
Yes.
Are there any items that we wish to take off the consent agenda? Seeing none, we're going to move on. Will the Department of Finance please present her items?
Good evening, Council President. Good evening, all. I have 15. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we
We can hear you.
Okay. I have 15 items to present today for your approval. First one is 76-26, which is a resolution authorizing a contract with Millennium. Millennium does our grant writing, and for 2025, they generated over $4.7 million for the city. Number 77-26 is resolution approving Supley, Clooney and Company as a qualified vendor, and they provide our auditing services annually for an amount not to exceed $150,000. Resolution 78-26 is a resolution authorizing the transfers between our transfers for CY 2026 appropriation reserves. And this is a resolution that we do every year for January, February, and March. Where we transfer funds from accounts that might have additional to accounts that might need funding. Resolution number 79-26 is an amended resolution authorizing the adoption of the current fund sewer utility, parking utility, solid waste utility temporary budget. So we're adjusting the temporary budget which we presented in January. We adding some additional grants and we're adjusting for spending that was done in January and spending that is expected to happen through March. The next 7 resolutions are all resolutions that we present on an annual basis so that the city, we're seeking authorization for the city to enter into contracts with state-approved vendors, which are used by each department. So the first one is for purchasing office supplies, furniture, and leased equipment for an amount not to exceed $315,000. The second one is for the fire equipment for the fire department for an amount not to exceed $394,000. The third one, 82-26, is for information technology computer equipment for an amount not to exceed $4,775,050. The next one, 83-26, is for public safety equipment for an amount not to exceed $2,318,000. 84-26 is for the police department for public works parts and equipment for an amount not to exceed $1,687,000. 85-26 is for purchase of diesel for January through December for an amount not to exceed $430,000. Then 86-26 is for the purchase of fuel oil for heating for January through December for an amount not to exceed $100,000. And 87-26 is for the purchase of unleaded automotive gasoline for January through December for an amount not to exceed $340,000. The next resolution, 88-26, is a resolution authorizing tax refunds on properties. And this is for duplicate payments and for overpayments for an amount totaling $27,158.96. And the last one, 88-26, is a resolution authorizing the approval to cancel taxes in the amount of $22,946.12. And this is for 4 veterans who are 100% disabled. And that's it for my presentation. Are there any questions?
Any questions? All right. Do I have consent to add this to the voting meeting?
Yes.
Are there any items that we wish to take off the consent agenda? All right, seeing none, we're going to move on to the fire. Will the fire director, please present your items?
Good evening. Fire Department has one for your review tonight, which is R090-26, resolution authorizing the donation of a ladder truck to the Royal Grenadier Police and Fire Department.
All right. Any questions?
Yeah. So
Direct-
can,
Oh, go ahead.
Councilman?
Councilwoman, okay, thank you. Director, can you just, high level explain how would that work? How would it, like, how does that work? Did you just-
We're making a donation to them with no liability on us. We're not paying for the shipping or anything. They pay for all the shipping. They assume all liability. Unfortunately, in items like that, they don't have access or funds for vehicles, so they accept donations. And we're making a donation to them. They're going to repair the truck and get it running again. We made donations like this in the past to other Dominican Republic and different places.
Okay, so the cost of the shipping is on them, not
Yeah,
the city?
no cost to us.
Thank you.
Council Vice President?
The same question, so, thank you.
Councilman Wyatt?
Yes, Council President, I'm sorry, I meant to ask a question for the Department of Finance. Is it okay if I ask that question now?
Can we close this out and then go back?
Okay, not a problem.
Any other questions? All right. Do I have consent to add this to the voting meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
Is there anything, items that we want to take off? Well, there's only one item. All right, let's go back to finance.
Yes, it was just a brief question here. So the disparity study, which was in 2024, showed that less than 1% of the contracts go to minorities. So although these are state-approved vendors, are we taking that in consideration when we are choosing the vendors?
Yes, our purchasing agent is, I think she's working with Keene University and some other, I don't know the other one, I can send it to you. But she was working with a few organizations to make sure that that these contracts are being offered appropriately.
Thank you.
Thank you,
You're
Councilwoman.
welcome.
All
You're
right.
welcome.
Will the Department of Public Works please present his items?
Yes, good evening, Council President Cherry, members of the council. The Department of Public Works has 5 resolutions for your approval. Resolution 09126 and 09126 and 09226. One's for architectural service and one's for engineering services. We had 8 vendors that submitted proposals. So these are two vendors that we're considering for engineering services and architectural service. Out of the 8, we can choose any one of them, so we have a list of them that we could choose from. Resolution 09326 is authorized for professional services contract for Noni Associates not to exceed $105,000. That's for the engineering services itself. Resolution 094 is authorized for professional service contract for Nixon and Bernick for floodplain management services, which deals with the DEP mandatory that we have to have a floodplain manager. They review floodplain applications, elevation of new construction properties, etc., permitting. Resolution 0995 authorizes the City of Plainfield into an agreement with New Jersey Department of Community Affairs to submit an application to local recreation improvement grant in the amount of $75,000. That will be used for solid fill, wire mesh fencing, and fencing at solid fill.
All right.
Questions?
Any questions?
Council President, good evening, Director. First and foremost, I want to say thank you for all that you did regarding the storm cleanup. We had a lot of residents who had, questions. I got a lot of calls, so I want to thank you and your entire department for all the work that you did regarding the snow cleanup. So thank you for that. Regarding R095-26, simple question: is the $75,000 the cap in terms of what we can apply for?
Yes, well, they always have a number they give us most of the time. It's been like from 75 to 100. So we asked for the max they can give us, and they said it was pretty low this time, so we asked, that's why we asked for 75.
So that's the cap that they set? Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, so do I have consent to add these to the voting meeting?
Yes.
Thank you, Councilman. All right, do we want to take anything off the consent agenda? All right, so will the Director of Economic Development please present her items?
Good evening, Council. I have resolutions R096 through 20-26 through R0116-26. So looking at 96, this is a resolution to enter into a memorandum of understanding between the city and various partners to pursue a neighborhood revitalization tax credit grant. This grant would focus on the west end of Plainfield, mainly consisting of the 3rd and the 4th Ward. The grant would be to pursue a tax credit for the purpose of affordable housing, workforce development, wraparound services, and to look at revitalization for development in general, including looking at wraparound services for childcare. The number of partners that we have include partners starting with the child care for Neighborhood House. We also have partners with Vision and Pathways, which work with a number of wraparound services, including behavioral health and crisis intervention. We have our workforce development that focuses on workforce development for our construction, looking at Sankofa construction. We are also partnering with the Neighborhood for a sustainable future. They will help us with our affordable housing, hosting a number of our housing lotteries, as we've done in the past where we're advancing affordable housing and some affordable housing for sale. They have experience with working with financial partners on this as well. Looking at, and we have a number of our partners in the audience with us if you have any questions as I go through. The next resolution, 97, is related to support for the Plainfield Historical Society. They want to submit and accept a grant for improving the Drake House. The Drake House would be able to improve the caretaker part of the building as well as the porch and some exterior parts of the building. The next resolution I'm going to be looking at is 98 and 99 together. Resolution 98 is authorization to submit for a program for the Urban Enterprise Zone funds. These funds would not exceed $300,000. The purpose of the funds would be for a 5-year lease related to a community policing station that would be located at 131A North Avenue. The community policing station will offer us the opportunity to have a presence in the downtown and near one of our transit stations. The next resolution, 99, is the actual lease. This $300,000 would cover the cost of the annual lease as well as the security deposit and the utilities for 5 years. Looking at Resolution 100, this is related to a lease agreement for parking lot number 1. We have a number of spaces in parking lot number 1. We used to have a business there, Blink Fitness. Blink Fitness since moved. We had an associated parking agreement with them. This is for an agreement for the tenant that took its place. The tenant that took its place would be Fitness Factory, and this would be an agreement for 50 parking spaces for Fitness Factory. The next two resolutions, 102 and 103, are related to the Center of Excellence. This is to a continuation of the professional service contracts. We have received a number of DCA grants where the DCA grants have offered us an opportunity for professional services, including architecture, engineering, as well as environmental and for construction services. 100% of these funds would be coming from the DCA grants that we receive. So this is to continue with our architecture services as well as our engineering. We have budgeted, and we also need to have engineering and architecture services from conceptual design through construction. The next resolution is for environmental management for our brownfields program. And then the resolution after that is to award for the brownfield management program. This would be to award to T&M Associates. The next resolution is to qualify for environmental engineering related to site remediation. We are just qualifying the vendors. The next 5 resolutions are related to our professional services for our boards and commissions. The first one is for our board engineer. The next one is for our board attorney. The next 2 are for our board attorney. The one after that is for our board planner. That would take us down through 110, and 111 is for our Historic Preservation Commission. This is for our historic architect, Barton Ross. Looking at Resolution 112, this is for our redevelopment and professional planning services for the Nishwain Group. Looking at Resolution 113, this is a resolution authorizing the planning board to do a planning board study for these properties. This is a total of 4 properties in which the city owns, but these properties are, according to zoning, substandard size lots. It gives us an opportunity to look at redevelopment for affordable homes for sale. Resolution 114 is related to the reexamination of a redevelopment plan. This is the 197 scattered sites redevelopment plan. This is to make the height requirement consistent. Resolution 115, as well as 116, is related to preparing a redevelopment plan. These properties have been studied. They are currently designated as areas in need of redevelopment. This is to commence in a redevelopment plan. And ending on 116, any questions?
All right, council. Opening up for questions.
Sure.
Council Vice President.
Yes. Okay, let me see. So the 5 that you have, those are the ones typically that go in the January meeting, the
Yes.
qualifications and the awards?
Yes.
Those are the ones that typically go on, okay. With respect to 10226, just a comment. I'm glad to see that we are getting that grant funded, those fees. So I'll applaud your office and the administration for seeking out grants when at all possible to subsidize and defray the costs of these architectural services and other professional services, because it saves us all money, save the taxpayer money. We know that the Center of Excellence is a project that the community is clamoring for and that we're working hard towards. So just confirm, us continuing to invest in architectural services and so forth, that the Center of Excellence is moving forward.
It is. We anticipate construction to begin this summer.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Council President?
Yes.
Madam Director, R96-26, with regards to the Neighborhood Revitalization Tax Credit Program. What is our compliance plan with regards to the services that we would be expecting from these businesses? How are we going to monitor that, one, we're receiving those services, 2, what is the quality of those services, are the residents receiving them? So I guess I'm interested in what's our compliance and Q&A plan behind this.
Sure. So these are services meeting with the partners or with the various businesses that you're
You
talking
mentioned wraparound services.
Right. So the wraparound services, all of our partners, which some are in the room, we have Vision and Pathways, they're in the room. You can feel free to ask them questions. They provide behavioral health services, looking at soft skills development, and they have to go through their own state qualifications. So we'll be monitoring according to the state qualifications.
And so those services would be funded by way of this tax credit.
So this tax credit grant program, it offers a total of $800,000. That's the max that you could pursue with the grant program. You have to use at least 40% of that has to go towards affordable housing, and then the remainder could be used for the services.
Councilwoman, do you want to speak to any of the organizations?
Not at this time. Again, I was just trying to have a better understanding that if the tax credit is funding these services through the organization, what is the city's compliance plan to make sure that we are getting the services that the benefit of this tax credit is giving them?
Right. So all of the finances that come from the grant is through the city, so they will have accountability for any deliverables that they're getting through the city and provide progress reports.
Is that a monthly progress report or
Yes.
quarterly? Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes.
Councilman Wyatt.
President. Yes, R 96-26. Just to add to that, I think this is a wonderful idea and plan. One of the questions I had, what role will they play in shaping the neighborhood revitalization plan?
Sure. One of the organizations identified is Power. That is a community organization that existed in the past. We would like to revitalize this organization. It's going to have outreach to community members that are within the 3rd and the 4th Ward.
And it's also glad to see Mr. DeShield is involved in here. It's glad to see that you couldn't stay away from the city of Plainfield, and we're happy to have you back in some capacity. The second question, R 98-26, how will we measure the effectiveness of the community police station as far as the increased safety, community engagement, and outcomes within the UEZ zone?
I'll let the Director of Police answer.
That new community policing substation downtown will be used mainly by COP. The goal is to have it armed with personnel 24 hours a day so that we can provide around-the-clock coverage in the downtown area. As I've stated before, we feel that the downtown is vital to the success of the city, so we want to ensure that we can make it as safe as possible, and we're basically going to put boots on the ground there, and that substation will help us do it.
Those are my only questions. Thank you both.
Anyone else?
Council President.
Yes, Councilman Graham.
Director, with regard to Resolution 096-26, the affordable housing element, can you just kind of give me an idea as to what that looks like? Is it permanent affordable housing? Is it temporary?
So we will look into affordable for rent as well as affordable for sale. So if you are aware of the last 7 houses that we did affordable housing for sale, they were all within the 3rd and the 4th Ward. We, just like I mentioned in the other properties that we're looking to study, that's another opportunity for affordable houses for sale. We have another 2 affordable homes for sale that we're working with developers that we're moving forward with the redevelopment plan for that.
And where are we as a municipality with regard to, I guess, meeting the requirements of providing affordable housing? Where does Plainfield stand on that?
So we have met our affordable housing obligation. In terms of the mayor's 1,000 units, if that's what you're talking about, that goal, we are well over 900 units. We should be able to present to you the remaining 100 units for the next council meeting.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Just a quick question. R-09926, just a quick question for the Director, Abney. Will you be collaborating with the New Jersey Transit Police also as well? Because I know it's kind of high traffic around there also as well, and there's a lot of activity around there at times.
Yes, we will. New Jersey Transit is usually short staffing, so, I mean, when they're in the city, we will work some things out. Maybe we'll do some joint patrols, but that is the goal.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am.
All right, any other questions? All right, council. Do we have consent to add these to the voting meeting?
Yes.
All right, are there any items that we wish to take off the consent agenda? All right, seeing none. Will the Director of Health and Social Services present his items?
Good evening, Council President. I have 4 resolutions for tonight. They are all grant-related and are no cost to the city. The first one is our annual submission to the county concerning our HUD CDBG grant and our applications for funding priorities. The next one is an award for $43,000, not to exceed $43,000, and that money goes to the CHAP program to do evaluations. We have an outside vendor, which we went through RFP process, and they manage all that process, and that's funded through the HUD grant. The next resolution is for not to exceed $18,820, $29,000, and that is for our senior program. That's through the Division of Aging, and that funds up to 18 households, senior households with $1,000 in repairs, which we coordinate out of community development. And the last one is to extend the contract between the City of Plainfield and Strategic Health Solutions. That's for our consultants who are working on the accreditation process for the Division of Health.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Council, are there any questions?
Madam
Council,
President?
yeah, Councilman Wyatt.
Yes, the chat program, which number is that?
There's two,
2.
117 and 118.
Yes, can you just explain on the record exactly what the chat program is, how much money is allotted, and how many residents potentially can benefit from the chat program?
Right, so it's a comprehensive housing assistance program. It is a revolving loan, and what that means, and it's up to $24,000 and allows eligible residents to do needed repairs to their homes. On average, we service about 7 to 8, depending on the funding. There's been years when we have done significantly more residents, but basically, right now, based on the HUD funding and how it's playing out, we are able to do about 8 residents. Now, of course, that's if they do $24,000. Some of our residents only need $10,000 worth of repairs. That would then allow us to do more residents, but on average, it's about 7 to 8.
Thank you, Lord.
You're welcome, sir. Excuse me.
Any other questions? All right, seeing none, do we have consent to add this to the voting meeting?
Yes.
All right, are there any items that we wish to take off the consent agenda? All right, seeing none, we're going to move on. Will the Director of Solid Waste and Sewer present his items?
Good evening, Council President, Council. I have 4 resolutions for your consideration and approval tonight. The first one is 121. That's to have an auction with govdeals.com. It's an auction service that we used in the past for vehicles that are no longer, viable to repair. And we've used them in the past, and we've had some good success with the bids. The next one, 122, is a resolution to approve the qualifications of vendors for engineering services for the solid waste and sewer. We received 3 bids, and they're all met the standards, so we would like to accept those for engineering services. The next one, R123, is to award the engineering services out of that group to CME for a total of $98,897, not to exceed that. The last one is 124-26. That's a change order for $10,000. That's the Watchung Avenue Pump Station. This is a very large project, over $2.5 million. There were some items outside of the scope of work that came up during the construction. And so this money will take care of the engineering services required for that. Plus, there was a couple of delays that required engineering to go back and forth with the vendor. But I am happy to say that we're still under budget by about $100,000 because we had some other items that were taken off, and we had some savings. So those are the 4. If there's any questions, we'd be glad to answer.
All right, Council, any questions?
Just thank you for your work, Director. Hearing just a small change order relative to the amount under budget is certainly an accomplishment. So just keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, seeing none, do we have consent to add this to the voting meeting?
Yes.
All right, good. Are there any items that we wish to take off the consent agenda? All right, seeing none. We're going to move on to ordinances on first reading. Will the business administrator please present her items on first reading? What is it, MC 2026-03?
Yes, Council President, we only have one ordinance for you this evening, and this is an amendment to the previously adopted home ownership small lots redevelopment plan, and we're looking to add 2 more lots for affordable homes for sale.
All right. Any questions? All right, do we have consensus to add this to the voting meeting? Yes?
Yes.
All right. Can I have a motion for a 5-minute recess?
So moved.
Can I get a second? Thank you, Councilwoman. All right, motion for a 5-minute recess.
Recording stopped.
All right.
Recording in progress.
All right, we now move on to ordinance on second reading and final passage. Madam Deputy, could you please read MC 2026-01 by title and further certify that the ordinance has been complied with all statutory publications and requirements?
MC 2026-01 is an ordinance amending the schedule of salaries and wages adopted pursuant to Article 14, Chapter 11 of the Municipal Code of the City of Plainfield, New Jersey, 1971. It is hereby certified that notice of a public hearing on this ordinance was published in the Courier News on January 8th, 2026.
All right. The floor is now open to any member of the public who would like to speak on this ordinance. Anybody on the phone? All right. May I have a motion to close public comments on this
Motion.
ordinance? All right. Thank you. Can I have a roll call?
You close the public hearing, you need a motion to adopt.
Oh, we have a motion to adopt, I'm sorry. We have a motion to adopt this ordinance on second reading and final passage, and if adopted...
Seconded.
There you go. I love you. This is great. All right, can I have a roll call?
Roll call, MC 2026-01, council members Briggs Jones.
Yes.
Graham.
Yes.
Wyatt.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Sessoms.
Yes.
Vice President Hockaday.
Yes.
Council President Cherry.
Yes.
That is unanimous. This ordinance has been adopted on second reading and final passage.
Excellent. Madam Deputy, could you please read MC 2026-01 by title and further certify that the ordinance has complied with all statutory publications and requirements?
Madam Council President, can request to remove MC 2026-02.
It's affirmed. It's been removed.
I make a motion to move.
Can we make a...
I'm sorry, if 2026-02 is going to be removed, we're going to need a motion to table. Thank you.
Can I have a motion?
So moved. Motion to table.
Can I have a roll call?
Roll call on motion table MC 2026-02, council members Briggs Jones.
Yes.
Graham.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Wyatt.
Yes.
Sessoms.
Yes.
Vice President Hockaday.
Yes.
Council President Cherry.
Yes.
That's unanimous. This ordinance has been tabled.
All right, we now move to public comments limited to resolutions and motions. A total of 30 minutes has been allocated to all public comments, and each speaker will be given 3 minutes. This information the number can be found on the city website. Please state your name, the municipality, and the resolution that you are speaking about tonight. The floor is now open. Anybody online?
Not with their hand raised.
Good evening. My name's Richard Loosely, 310 Hillcrest Avenue, Plainfield, New Jersey. I just am standing to make a comment about the award of the professional services contract to Remington and Vernick regarding floodplain management. Prior to COVID, I spoke with Councilman Corey Storch, and I spoke with another councilman who's no longer on the council about this matter. The state makes a voluntary participation for cities in a community rating system to rate their vulnerability to flooding. And based on that rating system, residents can receive a reduction in their flood insurance premium. Last time I looked this information up, Plainfield hadn't done a reassessment of their ranking in that rating system. I became aware of this when a newspaper article reported that Bound Brook had re-rated their rankings and had removed 500 homes from their floodplain, thereby eliminating flood insurance requirements for 500 homes, which is a substantial savings. So I think somebody should bring to the attention of Remington and Vernick that a reassessment of our position in the community rating system should be undertaken to hopefully save hundreds of Plainfield residents the need to buy flood insurance. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comment. Anybody else in gallery? All right, closing public comments. Anybody online?
With their hand raised.
All right. Can I have a motion to close public comments?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Did the roll call?
All in favor is fine.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. All right, so, Mr. Clerk, will you please announce the consent agenda?
Yes, Madam President, consent agenda items have been identified as resolutions 5726 through 12426.
May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Seconded.
Clerk, can I please have a roll call?
Roll call on the consent agenda items. Council members Briggs Jones.
Yes.
Cherry.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Wyatt.
Yes.
Sessoms.
Yes.
Graham.
Yes.
Vice President Hockaday.
Yes.
Council President Cherry.
Yes.
Consent agenda items have been approved.
All right, we now come to ordinances on first reading. Madam Deputy, will you please read MC 2026-03?
MC 2026-03 is an ordinance of the City of Plainfield, County of Union, New Jersey, adopting an amended home ownership small lots redevelopment plan dated February 5th, 2026.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to adopt this ordinance on first reading.
So moved. Second.
All right, Clerk, can I please have a roll call?
Roll call MC 2026-03. Council members Briggs Jones.
Yes.
Graham.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Wyatt.
Yes.
Sessoms.
Yes.
Vice President Hockaday.
Yes.
Council President Cherry.
Yes.
That is unanimous. This ordinance has been adopted on first reading.
All right, so we now enter general comments. A total of 30 minutes has been allocated for all public comments. Each speaker will have 3 minutes. Any member of the general public would like to, if you'd like to call in, the number is 646-558-8656. The meeting ID is 938-3643-9534. Dial *9 and raise your hand. The floor is now open. Please state your name and municipality.
Just general comments?
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is David Snow. I'm with the Exposure Report. I'm here as a journalist and constitutional activist, and because expressive speech is protected under the First Amendment, I'm using my time for peaceful, patriotic expression. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you. Thank you. The freedoms represented in our anthem includes the public's right to speak, to express, and to show up without government deciding how comfortable our expression needs to be. Because when policies start telling the public how they are allowed to express themselves, That's not transparency. That's control. Public meetings don't belong to the government. They belong to the people. And the real test of openness isn't how you handle agreement. The real test is how you respond when the public exercises its rights. Tonight, I'm here as a journalist and an activist to observe and document how this council meets that test. Because when government starts limiting expression, the public starts watching. And the record will reflect what happens in this room. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Anybody else in the gallery? All right.
Is this public comment time for general public comments? Yes. Okay, yeah, I would like to also, please.
Nancy? Was what?
No, you go ahead. You go first.
you go ahead.
Anyone else wants to go before me?
State your name and municipality for the record, please.
Came up very quickly. I didn't know it was going to be this quick. All right, I am Leroy Truth, Plainfield, and pleasure to be here today, everybody. And for all of the Latin-speaking members of our beautiful community of Plainfield, part one of my presentations during this time is Salve Memora Concili, Municipalitas Plainfieldae, hodie adsum non ut scanum faciam sed ut constitutium recitum, lex publicorum conventium novi cessare, liberatam los quindi nos suspendit, consialam municipal non est censor publicus. Hello, members of the Plainfield, New Jersey Council. You, the Plainfield, New Jersey City Council, have unconstitutionally banned singing, rapping, dancing, silence, and the criticism of you. Well, God bless, I was so impressed with the Star Spangled Banner from this handsome gentleman here. I am Leroy Truth of Leroy Truth Investigations. Please subscribe. I'm here not to make a stage. I'm here to be your very own personal mirrors to clearly and unflinchingly reflect back to you your unconstitutional inanity, reflecting your epistemologically inane conduct, clearly demonstrating your obtuse, fatuous, puerile, adolaptic, cretinous, benighted, cognitively amorphous, intellectually vacuous, epidemically impaired ordinances, and to mirror back to you your mentally invertebrate mode of thinking that mistakes authority for legitimacy and ignorance for power. Because obviously you all need a reminder. I'm so happy you sang. The New Jersey Public Meetings Act does not suspend free speech. Singing, dancing, silence, symbolic expression, and criticism of each of you is all sacred First Amendment protected speech. The First Amendment does not protect agreeable speech. A city council is not a censorship board. When you ban expression itself, that's not civility, that's prior restraint. And also, you inspire me, young man. In honor of our Constitution and supporting our Constitution, the Star Spangled Banner.
Thank you, your time is up. Thank you, your time is up. Sir, thank you, your time is up.
And you couldn't even wait for our Star Spangled
Thank
Banner
you,
to
your
be
time is
done before you interrupt me. How
Council
dare you?
President, the Speaker
This is
has
our
not-
Star Spangled Banner, our national
Officer
anthem.
Franklin, could you have him step out? Thank you.
For what reason?
Thank you.
Get your thing. Under what reason are you having me leave?
Get your thing.
So perhaps,
Why are you having?
Get your camera, get your thing.
What law did I break? I'm gonna leave.
It's yours?
Hold on.
Wanna help
Don't
you?
touch my equipment.
Wanna help you?
You do not have authorization to do that. What law did I break that I was just told by force I'm going to be removed by the police? President,
thank
what
you.
law did I break?
Please, could you exit?
I am. I gotta get
Thank
out
you,
my
sir.
business, ma'am. I'm absolutely exiting. But what law did I break? You need to state what law or statute did I break that you are unlawfully and unconstitutionally removing me from this meeting? And you interrupted me while I was playing our national anthem. You didn't interrupt the singer here.
Sir, your last warning. You're
Ma'am.
about to be placed under arrest for disorderly conduct. Do you understand?
I am.
Exit the building now.
I am leaving.
Exit the building now. That's what I said. That's it.
So perhaps we're going to reiterate. Back in January, the council passed a resolution. The resolution was R004-26. And I'm going to ask the clerk to read Part B of that resolution. And it outlines the conduct.
Thanks for the heads up. Part B, a total of 30 minutes has been allocated for all public comments to be presented. Large groups are urged to select a spokesperson to represent them. Each person is allocated 3 minutes to speak. The presiding officer or majority on the council may extend the length of time allocated. No speaker shall engage in any personally offensive, derogatory, or abusive remarks. The president shall immediately call to order any speaker who violates this provision. An officer from the Plainfield Police Department may remove any disruptive person at the discretion of the presiding officer.
Thank you.
And after your 3 minutes has concluded, it is considered being disruptive, continuing after the 3 minutes.
Thank you. So please understand, I'm not looking to, I welcome comments from the public, but please understand that our city, we pay good tax dollars, and this is where we conduct the people's business. This is where we conduct the people's business. This is not a playground. This is where we conduct the people's business. All right? So this is the last warning that I'm providing everyone this year. We want to be able to make sure that we do the people's business and we execute the people's business in a professional way. And there's decorum. Yelling and speaking after your 3 minutes is not professional. And again, I'm going to say this again, I welcome open public comment, but I will not be disrespected, and I'm not going to allow anybody here to be disrespected. Please state your name and your municipality.
Anonymous. So I'll make a couple statements. That was really despicable to watch. This is the United States of America. And you know the song. So it was seconds from being completed. But you're giving the presentation of what? You said this isn't a stage? Ma'am, I beg to differ. This is my 3 minutes. This is my stage. This is my platform. And all I've ever been was civil. This resolution targeting dancing, singing, silence, were all three things I was doing at the last meeting. And none of you need to look any farther than that law firm right there. Know who you're surrounded by. This is the same law firm that banned the American flag in Edison. And he'll get paid on the back end if these things get litigated. He gets paid when he writes a resolution. He gets paid when he writes an ordinance. And if it gets litigated, he gets paid on the back end. So please, understand the liability issues that this person over here, and you guys unanimously voted on this. This is the other thing, too. It says in this resolution, no back and forth. Otherwise known as a conversation, ladies and gentlemen. They refuse to have a conversation with the general public. A back and forth. We frame that in a negative context. No back and forth means no questions. No questions will be answered. No questions, not here, not any time. And this is what we get from government? No dialogue? No nothing? If you have the right to speak, you have the right to not speak. This council tried to ban silence. May I have a moment of silence for the ends of their careers? Okay, so silence is okay. Singing apparently is okay. What are we talking about? How embarrassing. I would be embarrassed if I were you guys. But that's what you get when you have bad legal advice from the worst law firm in New Jersey, who likes to ban things like the American flag at meetings. Limit your freedom. Limit your expression. Know who you're surrounded by. It's very important. And, Ms. Chair, I thought that was disgraceful for you to act like what was happening was anything other than a man using his public time
Thank you so
and
much. Your time is
expressing
up.
his freedom
Your 3
of
minutes
speech.
are up. Thank you so much.
That was
I
a
appreciate
finishing
you.
a sentence.
Thank you so much.
You
Your
should be
3
allowed to
minutes are
finish
up.
the sentence.
Your 3 minutes are up. Thank you so much for your comment. You have a clock. Thank you. It's right there. Happy New Year. Yeah.
Where's the clock?
State your name, municipality.
I'm El Rampador. I am with sativacross.org. We're a 501c3 fighting for disability rights and cannabis patients' rights here in New Jersey. You have no wheelchair access to the front of your building. Why don't you have access for disabled vets and cancer patients? I had to ask to come in the building. That is not accessibility. At City Hall, you have a lift. I don't even know if the old thing works. And they plowed in my handicap spots all over the state. If you look at the handicap spots, you'll see a big pile of snow. No F's given for disabled vets, cancer patients, or MS. Can Mayor Mapp talk to his wife and have the CRC give access to our vets, because we have no access to dispensaries or lounges. The CRC can do something with the stroke of a pen, but the disabled vets get the shaft. They can't get in your dispensary, especially in the urban enterprise zones where they should have a lawsuit. They can't get into these businesses that have a step. It's the same as saying no blacks allowed, no gays allowed, and no women or Irish allowed. Because a step is a wall. It's discriminatory and racist and sexist and ableist. And we don't like steps anymore. Please, Mayor Mapp, talk to your wife and help disabled vets get into dispensaries. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. Thank you.
Anybody else for public comments? Thank you.
Richard Loosely of Plainfield, New Jersey. I was born here 72 years ago, and in all my interaction with members of the administration, officials, members of the council, and employees who work for the city of Plainfield, I've always found them willing to engage with members of the community to discuss any issue they wish to bring forward to them, during regular business hours during the week. And I understand that public comment is a special time, and if we go over the time limit, we take time away from other members of the community, and we don't accomplish the purposes of public comment, which is to bring things to your attention. But if we want to discuss issues, we can reach out directly to members of the administration, to the council, and to city employees. And as I say, I've always found them more than willing to be helpful in solving a problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Richard.
Nancy Puvar, Plainfield. First of all, thank you for passing 97-26. That's to no cost to the city, and I appreciate the council. I want to bring up something. During this bad weather, a friend of mine had to access social services, and it's not a complaint from the city. It's a complaint that the social services Plainfield is so far from Elizabeth that social services based in the county seat are not positioned to service people at the opposite end of the county, which we are. And there needs to be a greater effort to provide the minimum nutrition to the people that have Code Blue when they surrender the basic freedom in interest of survival. Because one of my friends had to access social services in Elizabeth, and I learned, unfortunately, and I don't know if I believe our tax dollars are paying for those services, there were times where she was not offered any nutrition or food. So if, I don't know what division handles that, but they should look into that, because that's not acceptable, that they have to go out and go buy their own food if they're placed in these places. My other comment is, I appreciate that Mr. Dabney attended the Greenbrook Flood Control Commission meeting last week. We learned that the study for the upper basin is kind of stalled, so people are going to have to be suffering. I'll probably be dead before that study gets done, but if you can put pressure on Congress to try to get that study going so that the people downstream can be taken care of. And I do appreciate that Mr. Dabney asked some questions and was there at the meeting. The other thing I want to talk about is I finally was able to get in touch with Corporal Morgan's family members. They came and visited me. And I want to urge everybody to write down your family stories. So much history is being lost and being erased, and we all need to make sure that we have the oral histories so that Captain Morgan's story isn't lost. I know the mayor talked about Black history as American history. Everybody's history is American history. We're all part of the fabric of America. And if we lose our history, we don't have the newspapers like we used to that used to record different things and things like that. But I urge everybody that's listening to write down their family stories, because they're going to be lost, just like they were taken down at Independence Hall. They're being taken down in national parks. They were taken down in Mont Groton, and we cannot afford to lose those stories. Thank you.
Name and municipality.
I'd rather not give my name.
Municipality.
I'd rather not give that either. Are we going to, so you guys made a resolution to ban singing, dancing. You also banned what is deemed offensive language. That's kind of like vague and subjective. Are you guys going to be enforcing those things? Because I've seen tonight that you guys really haven't. So if you're not going to enforce them, can you repeal the thing? Because I have more important things to, talk about. You guys going to repeal the ordinance that you guys put forward for singing and dancing? Because when I first came in here, there was someone singing, and then there was people singing today, and they played instruments, and they said things that maybe you didn't like. So, I mean, it sounds like everything that you guys passed in that ordinance happened tonight, right? All right. All right, so after the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in New York Pistol Association versus Bruin, the citizens had the right to carry firearms in public for self-defense. New Jersey also responded by raising the cost and exercising that right for it jumped from $50 to $200, and $150 goes directly to the municipality. Is that right, Mancello? All right. So there are 16 municipalities that actually are giving back to the people, and they're I guess refunding the 150 out of the 200 back to the taxpayers for their concealed carry right to their concealed carry permits. So there was one mayor in Englishtown, I forget his name, what's his name? Dan Francesco, who started it off, and then there's been 16 other towns that have followed suit. I'm actually going to be starting to go around everywhere because, you know, some people can't afford the $200 to conceal carry, and it used to be $50, it jumped, but the $150 goes to the town, and it should really go back to the people. So if you want to do something for the people and help them out, you know, it's $50 for the concealed carry permit. Let them charge the 200, refund them the 150 because the 150 goes to the municipality. So I'd like to see that happen. So that's why I'm here. All right, but I would like an answer as to, are we going to enforce that bill that you passed about the singing, dancing, because that's really freedom of expression, right? So I would say that's part of my First Amendment right for freedom of expression, freedom of speech, whether that's singing or dancing or whatever it be. But I would like to, because I didn't see it enforced tonight. So that's all I got. Thanks.
Thank you for your comment.
Good evening. Angela King, Plainfield, New Jersey. I would just like to take this opportunity to ask Mr. Louise to stand and take a bow for addressing the garbage can issue I had in my neighborhood. He personally came and took care of it. The problem is 80% gone. You know you have that 20%. But thank you so much, Mr. Louise. I had a few other questions today, but Nancy helped me because I'm still learning. And thank you. I also have positive experiences with the city because I'm learning and I'm asking questions. And I can't get them on the phone, though. I have to go in. But they are so nice when you go in and assist me with all the questions I have. I did get a copy of the zoning map, which states that my area is light industrial. You know, I'm coming talking to you next because I need to know why it's so industrial up there. So thank you very much, and I'll be touching base with you shortly. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Angela. Name and city?
Salvatore Carano, 1284 East Front Street. First, congratulations to the positions and the elections. Many of you already know why I'm here this evening. I am disgusted. I'm disgusted with some in this room, some position makers, some decision makers, and I live on a T street, a very, very busy T street of probably 3,000 vehicles turning in front of my home. Some of you for quite some time have been aware of a developer and a store, apparently, while I was gone on a trip, popped up right next to my home. Under no circumstances were the neighbors involved, discussed, you know, your outreach that you're talking about this evening. For that, I blame department heads, I blame boards, board leaders, administrations. Hurricane's coming, people. It's coming, and it's not going to be stopped. I don't care how deep you think your pockets are. Neighborhood's not going to tolerate. My father-in-law is 86 years old. My driveway has been violated. It's been blocked. Medical services have been blocked from my 88-year-old neighbor in a stretcher. Can't get to their home. 150 cars. I have 50 pictures and hundreds of ring pictures of what people in this room knew about, approved it for months. It is clear retaliation of my involvement in Richard Wyatt's campaign last year. It is also clear of my future involvement for the next campaign in the first ward. I will not be stopped until, and it's very sad, the owner of the store who is being rented to is in fact decent people. They're hardworking immigrants. God bless them. But I will support their lawsuit against this city as well. Why? Because there are people in this room that knew that it was happening and did nothing but encouraged it. I will not stop until everyone is accountable. Thank you.
Anybody else in the gallery? Name and city.
My name is Stacy. And what did you want to know? Oh, I'm from Plainfield. My question is, or my concern is surrounding the missing, I want to say child because I know him as a child, but he's 19 years old. His name is Connor Oldfield, and he's been missing for 2 weeks and a day, I think. 2 weeks, oh, a little over 2 weeks. My question is surrounding what the city is doing to make sure Connor gets back home to his family, and what, I guess, efforts they're taking to search or, and I'm speaking on his mother's behalf. She's here, but she's a little nervous. So we're just kind of feeling a little out of the loop in terms of what the city is doing to make sure Connor makes it home. So we just want more information there in terms of what the city is collectively doing to look for him. That's it.
So at the end, we'll open up for a response, okay? Thank you, Stacy. Name and city.
Sharon Vincent, Plainfield, New Jersey. Mayor Mapp, Madam President, members of the City Council. I just really came out tonight because I'm concerned about what's happening in the country. And I wanted to commend Mayor Mapp for coming out when the students had their walkout the other day, encouraging them and to speak to them, because that's how you develop new leadership. And I also work with Indivisible here in Plainfield, and we are planning our No Kings 3 next day on Saturday, March 28th. And I want to ask and request and hope that all members of the City Council, of course, Mayor Mapp, I know you've always been supportive of really trying to have programs in your wards to help educate and encourage people about what's going on, the erasure, as we in Happy Black History Month, as we have this government attempting to erase our history, to bring us back. I would encourage everyone to please study. That's the Reconstruction and post-Reconstruction era, and to understand the blueprint for this fascist administration is a combination of what occurred during the post-Reconstruction period and what happened in Nazi Germany. That this is not a game. This is, I think that people want to look away. I think that we have to speak out for what's going on against members of our community, the ICE raids, and I want to also ask, have there been any discussions about how young people, kids, are going to be protected? Are there any protocols that happen? I'm a retired principal, so I remember during the first Trump administration, we had to put in place protocols, working with the police department and other agencies, to how we were going to protect children in case they came home and their parents weren't home and they had been detained. And I just want to encourage everyone to please help educate everyone in their wards around the city, because there was a saying that they had during World War II, they'll come for me in the morning and come for you at night. And part of what this whole attempt in attacking black and brown people is that, again, I just want to encourage everybody to help educate people.
Thank you so much. All right, I don't see anybody else in the gallery. Anybody online?
We have 4 people online.
Thank you. State your name and your municipality for the record, please.
Also, if you are listening to us on YouTube, please mute the YouTube. It will cause a feedback.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Keith Kaplan. I'm a resident of Teaneck, New Jersey. Someone had pointed out the resolution you had passed and brought it to my attention. It's similar to resolutions I had previously fought when Mahwah, Upper Saddle River, and other towns had passed similar kinds of rules and regulations in 2017 and 2018. It's also similar to regulations that I fought in my own town in the last year. I successfully brought an Open Public Meetings Act suit against my Board of Education for similar enacted statutes. And I wanted to ask you, because I've heard comments stated at this meeting, which some people might find offensive. I assume you didn't stop the meeting because you didn't subjectively find them offensive yourself. But if somebody were to mention something that you personally find offensive, is that what stops the meeting? Because the rules of the Open Public Meetings Act require that everyone be allowed to speak their mind. Subjective requirements are precisely what they ban. So let me give you an example. The Supreme Court said in Cohen v. California that certain words were permitted under the freedom of speech. If someone in a similar vein were to get up in your gallery right now, and on the back of their jacket, it said, "Fuck this council," would that be permitted? It was permitted to speak at the lectern of the United States Supreme Court. Would it be permitted on a jacket in your council chambers? It's unclear to me, based on this rule. Would it be subjectively offensive to someone? Certainly, it's subjectively offensive to a lot of people. To take it further, if someone just mentioned a Second Amendment case, if somebody went forward and said something similar to Watts v. U.S., that's when they said, if you put a rifle in my hand, the first person I target is LBJ. Now, I think it would be despicable, and no one should ever target a sitting member of a council. I personally was a sitting member of the council. But that doesn't mean that it's not protected by the First Amendment. If someone said that, if someone stood up and said it, would you tell them that their mic is off and they're being removed? Or would you say, yes, it's something reprehensible, something we object to, but you're allowed to say it? These rules and regulations are found in the Open Public Meetings Act. Section 10 is the civil rights section of our code. That's where the Open Public Meetings Act is found. And it's because it's in the Civil Rights Act that remedies can be
Thank you
brought
so
against
much.
municipalities.
Thank you so much for your comment. Your time is up. Sir? Thank you. Next person?
Caller ending in 294, you've unmuted yourself. Please speak.
Sure. Good evening. Quane Chambliss, Plainfield, New Jersey. I am calling in this evening because the handicap entrances to the sidewalks to cross have been horribly maintained. I'm not sure whose responsibility it is, but for the sake of being a fall risk, I had to stay in and call. As our city is growing and we have attracting more people, which attracts more cars, which attracts less parking spaces, because we don't think that we should have at least one parking space per unit, it's going to be harder and harder and harder to clear that snow from the street to make it safe for people to pass. I don't know what the plan is that's in place for that, but I think that you really need to start thinking about putting a plan in place, because without it, it blocks off accessibility for people such as myself to be able to get around the city. So we need to look into that. The second thing I want to talk about is I was privy to a very good report from the mayor on what the city has actually done in terms of searching for Connor. Perhaps he can give that same report tonight to kind of dispel some of the myths that are out there about what the city is doing, what the city is not doing, the rules and regulations behind what constitutes the ability to give out a reward, all of those type of things. If you could take the time to go ahead and explain that to the public. And the last thing, you know, I'm reminded that if you sow to the wind, you reap a whirlwind in return. And I believe what we have seen tonight is an example of the whirlwind coming back because of that resolution that hampers free speech. And I would hate to think that our self-esteem is so low that we can't let people get their little 3 minutes off and leave the mic. You did an excellent job tonight, not wielding your authority in the bully pit to stop them tonight before their 3 minutes. But I just think the whole thing is ridiculous. It's free speech. Let people say what they have to say. Your shoulders should be big enough to be able to shoulder it, because that's what you signed up for. Not everybody's going to be in agreement with what you do, what you decide on. They might not even agree that they like you. And they might think you are a name that you don't think that you are. But I just think this is the time that you sit up there and you do like we tell kids, sticks and stones. So I just want to commend you for using, not using your bully put tonight, but I just think that maybe you should look into just rescinding that whole resolution, because
Thank
we
you.
don't want to get.
Thank you, Ms. Kwame Palmer Chambliss. Thank you. Sir, thank you. Next speaker.
Yes, hello?
Yes. State your name and municipality for the record.
Yes, good evening. My name is Sebastian Torres, and I'm from Plainfield, New Jersey. Yes, well, first off, I would like to say that I'm very upset that I was not there in person tonight to catch all the great performances. I think that it's great that these First Amendment people are questioning this resolution that was passed, because honestly, I think it was a big mistake. It does not make any sense whatsoever. Now, I think it's funny that the administration is so against performances, right? Because a lot of what is done by this administration is a performance. Let me just provide an example, right? The other day, the students of Plainfield had a march, right? They protested against ICE. And we had the mayor out there performing in front of the students, right? And I say performing because he gave a speech. But at the same time, he refuses to hold his own administration accountable and the people he hires accountable for being prejudiced, for being xenophobic, for promoting ICE activity. He's still hiring a person who promoted these vile things that are happening in the community, and he has yet to hold that person accountable. He actually rehired that person. So that's why I think it's a performance, because a lot of what we see from the administration is just talking and yapping, but there's never any actual resolutions as far as what is to be done when people confront ICE. What is the administration doing, using the police department perhaps to keep the citizens safe, None of that has been done. None of that has been communicated. So it all to me just seems like a performance. Now, the mayor says that he stands by his Latino community. And I heard Mr. Carano today, I think that's his last name, talk about retaliation. Now, I'm a person that has served on the Plainfield Culture and Heritage Committee now for a couple years. This year, for some reason, it seems that my commissionship has not been renovated. Now, I would hate to think that that has to do with retaliation and perhaps being outspoken and criticizing the mayor. This is not the type of leadership that we need in the city, this petty, spineless, weak leadership that decides to, behind closed doors, do sketchy things in order to, appease their friends and then in public say something else, okay? When you have Latino people like myself trying to be active in the community and you negate their ability to do that, that's retaliation, and that is not standing by the Latino community. When you're hiring people who are xenophobic, that is not standing by the Latino community. I don't know how this is supposed to be leadership that we want in Washington. First of all, I think that's absolutely ludicrous, laughable, right? To have such, well, not at all anymore, because I think that's kind of what Trump embodies. So, I think maybe it might fit in. I don't know. But anyway, that's just all I had to say. And thanks again for the performances, guys. First Amendment people, you guys are great. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Anybody else?
Two more.
Name and municipality for the record, please.
Good evening, Sharon Rosario, Plainfield. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to the administration and congratulations to everyone that was appointed and that's sitting there representing the city of Plainfield. I just want to say that I am highly and thoroughly embarrassed of the performances this evening. When you guys come before us and meet, it's to take care of the city of Plainfield residents and the things that we need taken care of. And when we take time for people that want to be anonymous, people are not citizens of and residents of Plainfield, not citizens but residents of Plainfield, and they take up our time, I think that's unfair to us, the taxpaying citizens of Plainfield. We want things done. We want things moved. And I think when they do this, they take away from the energy that needs to be put into what the plans to move Plainfield forward. They're taken away from that. So I just want to thank each and every one of you guys for coming out, voicing your opinion, but let's take it serious, because the job that they're there to perform, it's a serious situation. They have to go home at night. They have to show their faces in the community. They have to come back to us with these resolutions. They have to come back to us with these answers. And I think that when we take time for nonsense, it takes away the seriousness of what they're there for. And me, as a Plainfield homeowner, tax-paying citizen, it just burns me that I have to sit and listen to this type of thing instead of all of the good that's coming through and what they're trying to communicate and put out to us. I know my Councilwoman Briggs Jones, she works very hard. Carrie works very hard. When I call and say I have an issue, it's solved in a moment's notice. So I appreciate this, but please, let's take our time serious. It's very, very important. It's very important. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that comment. Anybody else?
One more, well, now it's two more people with their hands raised.
Name and municipality for the record, please.
Hi, my name is Meg. I live in Plainfield.
Say that again.
My name is Meg. I live in Plainfield.
Go ahead, Meg.
I just wanted to make a comment about the resolution. I think it sets an extremely dangerous precedent to kind of put these measures forward without, I guess, considering the possible ramifications later on. I do understand that people find whatever is happening today in the chambers disruptive or unproductive, However, I feel like that wouldn't be happening at all if such a resolution wasn't passed without kind of considering what would happen after. I feel like this is a gross, I guess, limitation on free speech and being able to express and talk to council, regardless of if it's irritating or unproductive. That's kind of, I feel like that kind of comes with the job, and it would grant more time for people to be able to focus on the important matters if they didn't feel like they either had to test what their freedoms were, that seem to also not be enforced, or even this resolution passed and then skipping the previous council meeting or canceling it and then bringing it here. I think it just sets an extremely dangerous precedent, and that should be looked into. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Eliko, is there anybody else?
Yes, there are.
Name and municipality for the record, please.
Caller, you've unmuted yourself, but I'm not hearing anything. Are you speaking? Name is Maggie.
Can you go to the next caller? Go to the next caller.
Okay, caller ending in 109.
Hi, my name is Shaya, and I'm from Plainfield.
Go ahead, Shayla.
Shaya.
Shaya, go ahead, Shayla.
Hi, no, Shaya. Shaiya.
Go ahead.
Yes, so my concern, first of all, first things first, we know what Plainfield is mostly known as, and in my case, moving here 2 years ago, it's known as the ghetto. And as I sit and I watch the moderator, every time someone speaks, she's frowning her face, turning up her lips and everything, and this is why no one takes us serious. I am the second person speaking about the situation with this young child who I don't even know. I don't know the mother, but I do follow the group. I don't know his mother, but I do follow the group, the buzz in and around Plainfield. And this young boy is missing for about a good 2 weeks. You see it all over ABC News, YouTube, Facebook, social media, but you have not heard Plainfield. I have not heard Plainfield announce this anywhere else. There's no reason why that mother should be going to the phone store, trying to get subpoenas on her own, the police's job, to get phone records for where her son possibly may be. He is autistic. He is running around, hopefully still alive, went missing before a major snowstorm in Plainfield, and you can't even find a parking spot on the street. This is ridiculous. Plainfield needs to get it together. I really wish you guys would respond and stop being ignorant and go ahead and answer questions while people are talking, so that way we can know what's going on with this child. So that way we can know what the Plainfield Police Division, City Hall, whoever else, advocates. Come on, where's the advocates for autism children or even adults? Let us know something. What are they doing to help this mother find her child? I'm a mother of 3 kids, and I couldn't even imagine being that mom sitting out in that audience. And I don't even know that lady. God bless you, woman, whoever you are, and the lady that stood up for you. But Plainfield, y'all need to get it together, because this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. There's a whole search party going on the internet where they're looking for this old lady. A whole search party. Thousands of people out looking for this lady, but I haven't seen not one person. And I know Plainfield, I know the lady works at a barbershop, and I know that they're doing the searches for them themselves. But what is going on? What's going on? Do the job. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you so much for your comment.
Council President?
Yep.
30 minutes allocated for public comments. We have since exceeded that. We do have one more caller, though.
All right, let's take that last caller, and then we'll close public comments.
Caller.
Good afternoon, Joel Plainfield.
We
Good
can hear you.
afternoon, Joel Plainfield. Okay. Good evening, Madam President, Mayor Mapp, City Council. I don't know if it's too late but I want to speak out against like the resolution about decorum or whatever, censorship, you would say. A lot of wording is vague, which I don't like. I don't think we should be censoring speech, whether it's singing or poetry, and silencing silence is even crazier. For me, it's personal. For one, I'm like a free speech absolutist, like even hate speech. I'd rather know who my enemies are rather than they stab me in the back. And I feel like silencing just makes evil fester and spread in the dark. And two, I suffer from a traumatic brain injury. So like my short-term memory can like stuck at times. But you know what I'm great at? Like memorizing music, memorizing rhythm. So like what if I wanted to use that as a tool for what I wanted to say? Would there be exceptions? We shouldn't even have to make exceptions. So I might not agree with how others may go about their expression of free speech, but I'd rather deal with the quote unquote antics than have rights stripped away. So we need a middle ground, and this isn't it. This is very, very dangerous. So I just want to end this by also saying I'm praying for Connor and his family, and I hope he sounds safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to close public comments? Thank you. All right, just so the public is aware that normally when the questions are asked, at the end, the body will answer the questions. That's normally the process. All right? So I'm going to open it up to our corporate counsel.
Thank you,
first.
Council President.
Thank you.
So tonight, we heard a lot of critique of the resolution that was adopted at the reorganization meeting. Let me first start by saying this resolution is adopted in some form at every reorganization meeting as long as I've been around. It's just roughly about 20 years in the city of Plainfield. And I bet you it's been around a lot longer. And what it does is it sets forth rules of decorum for a council meeting. Every council president who has preceded you, council president, has had the right to set the rules of decorum within the confines of the law, okay? And without exception, those rules, every prior council president has been granted that authority to interpret those rules, to ensure that the business of the city is done in an efficient and expedited manner, and so that every individual in the room who wishes to speak can have that opportunity to speak. So what that means, Council President, is making sure that disruptions are not tolerated, which you have done this evening, to make sure that timeframes are set. These are not content-based restrictions. These are non-content-based restrictions for the purposes of allowing for the business of the city to take place. So, Council President, I want to commend you this evening. You allowed for robust debate, you allowed individuals to speak, but you held firm to the rules so that the meeting could move forward. If you deem any action to be disruptive to that business, you have the authority, Council President, to ask that person to stop, to give a warning, and then ultimately remove that individual. All right? As your legal counsel, I want to say that there was not even a close call tonight. You made sure that everyone's rights were preserved, the First Amendment was preserved, and still allow this meeting to progress and the business to be done. So I'm happy to answer any questions from any council member on this issue, but I want to commend you on your presiding of the meeting this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to Police Director.
Good evening, Madam President.
Good evening.
Okay. In regards to Connor Oldfield, the Plainfield Police Department, upon receiving the report of him going missing on January 24th at approximately 3:30 p.m., started an investigation and began searching for Connor. That has continued every day to this day. We have enlisted the support of the Plainfield Fire Department, of Plainfield OEM, of County OEM, of State OEM, of the State Police, of the Union County Prosecutor's Office, the Union County Police Department, and various other agencies throughout the state of New Jersey. We have also called on our federal resources to help look for Connor. We have used manpower. We have used grid searches. We have used manpower to the point that I suspended all operations of the Detective Bureau for the Police Department to search for this young man. So any other police-related business has not taken place for the last 2 weeks and 2 days, and we continue to search for Connor. This young man will not, and I repeat, will not go by the wayside. We will keep looking. We still have resources. We are exhausting every lead. Every lead that comes in is being investigated to the fullest. The police department has been in constant contact with Connor's mother and father. We had a meeting with Connor's mother today. We speak to Connor's father pretty much on a every other day basis, and we will continue to update them because we feel that they should know exactly what is going on. Now, in terms of the public, it is a police investigation. We release information as we can. We enlist your support. We have had the flyers out there, but we continue to look. What we do not want to happen is, because it is extremely cold, the weather this month has been exceptionally poor. We do not want individuals going out who are untrained, looking for this young man, and then putting us in a situation where we have to look for other people who may go missing because they may fall somewhere in the city, they may fall somewhere in an area that's secluded. So we do not want the public joining us in searches in certain areas. We go door to door, we have gone door to door. If people want to continue to do that, that is fine. We do not have a problem with anyone going door to door. Any help we can get, we will gladly take. But I do not want anyone to feel that we are not doing our due diligence to look for this young man. He is the number one issue in my department today and has been for the last 2 weeks and 2 days that he has been missing. And that will remain until we can find him. Some police operations have to go back to normal operations because we still have to serve the public. Those are things that we have to do, but we will not stop searching for him. In some way, form, or fashion, we will search for him on a daily basis until we can try to bring some closure to his family. Okay, and with that being said, I also would like to say, my officers have been out looking for this young man in extremely cold weather, under extremely treacherous situations. We've enlisted the fire department. They have been out with us. We will continue to search. Pray for Connor's family. Pray for the men and women of the Plainfield Police Department and the Plainfield Fire Department and Plainfield OEM, because together we are looking for this young man. And it is extremely important to me as a father to find him. I want to bring closure to his family, no matter what it looks like. I want to bring closure to the family, whatever that may be. My prayer is that we bring him home. And but we will continue to look for him. I don't want anybody to not understand that. That is the number one issue in our department today. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Police Director. Could somebody address ICE and plans? I know that there is an event that's going to be happening in March.
So yes, we do plan on having an event in March at probably at the Booker School, and I believe we were looking at, well, there is a tentative date, but I think in just today we got word that we might have to change that date because one of the presenters has a conflict. But we plan to have resources available, all sorts of community resources available for people to speak to. We plan to have legal representatives there for legal questions. And this is open to the whole community. This is not just for community leaders, as we've done in the past, and to try to make sure that everybody's on the same page. This is for anybody in the community who has questions related to how to handle ICE in any capacity, as a advocate, for somebody who is here and scared, or as a family member, in any capacity. This will address a broad range of issues. And as soon as we have that date locked down, you will be seeing flyers about it.
All right. Director Fields, do you want to reply?
So I believe the property that we were talking about is 1304 East Front Street. This property has been a legal non-conforming use with a certificate of occupancy for a store on the bottom and a resident on the top since 1954. The property right now, in terms of causing overcrowding on the street, we will send our parking enforcement officers as well as our code enforcement officers out on a regular basis to make sure that they are abiding and being good neighbors. In terms of notifying their neighbors about the approval of this property, given that it's been approved since 1954, the only thing that is required is that they do a change in tenancy, which they have done. All the proper permits were taken out. It did not require going to a zoning board or a planning board, which would require notification of a 200-foot list for surrounding residents. That was not required in this case. If there are any issues in terms of property maintenance or encroachments on someone else's property, please notify us. We will send code enforcement out. We will send our parking enforcement out. We are going to start doing so on a regular basis. If there is a need for more outreach, we will have contact with the business owner to find out any concerns.
Thank you. Sure. Council Vice President.
Sure. So, thank you, Director, for emphasizing you'll take a look at that issue. I'm hoping that what Mr. Carano indicated is not the case, that it was some type of retaliation that he snowed in, and that but I do know that we all are experiencing these really frigid temperatures, and I congratulate as well, and echoing Councilwoman Sessoms, and congratulating Public Works and the related departments for clearing the snow in this most recent snowstorm. But it's been treacherous for everybody, because even today was the warmest day, and it still didn't go over not freezing, right? We just got maybe around 30 degrees. So the ice everywhere has not melted. So we're still dealing with roads that are being narrowed because there's snow on both sides. Parking is at a premium now. It's just a really difficult issue that we're all dealing with. Nevertheless, I am aware that there are some private landlords that aren't doing what they're supposed to do in the community in terms of clearing parking spaces for their residents. And I know it's a difficult issue because the snow just isn't melted. But I've been hearing reports, specifically in Allen Young, that there's handicap spots that the snow is still there. And again, this is not on public property. This is not city responsibility. These private owners in apartment complexes throughout the city have the obligation to make sure that their walkways are clear, that their parking spaces are clear, and especially the handicap spots, to make sure that the residents are able to park, right? So this is something that is very important. So we are going, what I'm asking is, that I'm going to consult with the Department of Public Works. I know that there's codes that will allow in extreme situations for us to do some of this clearing. If they don't do it, and we'll just have to find these owners and bill them. But it's important that these residents are able to park despite these frigid temperatures. I know it's difficult, right? I know it's difficult. So I don't want to not be empathetic about that, but it's something that we all need to do. So I just wanted to speak up for those residents and those who are experiencing just horrid parking conditions throughout the city, despite best efforts.
Thank you, Council Vice President. To the gentleman in the back with the press, I know you talked about the conceal and carry. If you could give that information to the city clerk, that'd be greatly appreciated. To the gentleman over there. Flood plan, who wants to address that question? The flood plan? I know Rich had a question about the flood plan.
Yes, what we'll do, I'll touch base with our floodplain manager to see about the community rating system, see where we are with that. See, we may look to move that forward. We'll see what happens because it did affect some of the residents at the time. We're looking into it. So we'll see. Anything that can have a cost savings to the residents, we'll look into. So we'll see what happens with that. I'll look into that with the floodplain manager and follow up on that.
All right, and the last thing is disabled veterans and then also access to this building. Yes, thank you, Police Director.
Okay, this building was built, I don't have it right in front of me, I think the building was built in 1964. It was built before a lot of these, before some of these things became ADA accessible. So what we did for the police department, because it is really one building, it's just that this is one part of it, that's the other part. If you come in through the front door, and we have publicized this information before, if you need handicap access, the police entrance is built on a slope that is actually heated underneath, so it's usually never slippery out there. It's built on a slope, and we bring you in through the police department so you can have access to any part of this building. In the interim, we have discussed possibly trying to make the building ADA compliant on this side. Now, whether I know we also have discussions on tearing this entire building down and building a new building. So with all of those things, we have all of those things in play all at the same time. So we're considering tearing down the building because the council has approved a new police department and municipal court. So since we have access on one side of the building that anybody can get into the building and conduct their business, do we want to add on to the building and spend more taxpayer money, or do we want to put that money into something that will be ADA compliant and state of the art? And that's what we're doing right now. So I hope that answers your question, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Council
Councilwoman?
President, I just wanted to add, because I've heard from disability advocates as well, it's not just this building, it's all city property where a resident of the city would have to enter into that building in order to conduct whatever business. So I do think we need to take a look at it. I do realize that many of these buildings are historic and some are grandfathered where they don't have to come up to code unless you're doing a full renovation. But I do think we need to have a plan so that if someone needs to gain access to the building and can't for whatever reason, what are our alternatives that we can offer them based on whatever building they're attempting to enter to conduct city business.
All right. All right, I think I addressed all the questions, correct? All right, can I have a motion to
Hold
adjourn?
on one second. Council President, I would just
I'm
like to
sorry.
say something else also as well.
Sorry.
Thank you again to DPW, but we also have to thank Sewer and Solid Waste. Those gentlemen were out there getting the garbage, including my husband, who's been working 7 days since April last year. So I just want to say thank you for Sewer and Solid Waste. They were out there picking that garbage up in that cold, and one of the gentlemen got frostbitten and had to be taken off work for a couple of days. So let's not forget them also as well.
Councilman Wyatt?
Yes, really quick. I know that this is a meeting where we conduct our business, and Director Abney, I thank you for the explanation that you gave, and you have been providing the council with updates on a consistent basis. So I just ask that we, and Mayor Matt, maybe you can do this, we can hold a town hall and give the community some guidelines as far as the help that we do need. Let them know that so that the community can know, okay, the things that are happening, there's an investigation going on, we can't give you all the information, but just to organize the communities and let them know how they can help and assist the right way, rather instead of just social media and Facebook, because everybody's not on social media, but people in the community want to help out, so we can have a town hall and just organize the community. I think that would be great.
Right.
So as well, yes.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Happy Black History Month. Let's continue to keep Connor in our prayers so he returns home safely. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Second? Is there a second? All right, thank you so much. Have a good evening, everyone.